Thank you for joining us. We are here at SPBL Media Day 2025. We have a two-day event for you today. We have a couple interviews today with Luke Briers and Josh Keena, and then tomorrow we will be hitting a lot more of the league. This year looks to be like a very highly anticipated season. We have a lot of newcomers this year, a lot of storylines to keep up with, and a lot of players have a lot of opinions. We'll be getting all of that over the next 2 days, covering a lot of the league, interviewing as many players as we can, and bringing you all of the content unfiltered here on SPBL Live. Thank you for joining us, and we'll go ahead and get started with our first interview. And our first interview for SPBL Media Day 1 is with Luke Briers, should I say SPBL champion Luke Briers, member of the Ball Hogs last year, returning with the Ball Hogs this year. Obviously, the big news of this offseason is the loss of MVP and Finals MVP Garrett Wilson, Garrett Brooks, who is moving on and has retired from the league. He'll be replaced by Wilson Parker on the Ball Hogs. Luke, you touched on this during a podcast in the offseason, but what do you think about the new look Ball Hogs with Wilson on the team, and maybe about how the style of play might change with Wilson now?
I think we're going to slow it down a little bit. I mean, that's not preferred. We don't Garrett, we all of our points for fast break points, but I think we're going to have a really good team. Pretty much the same exact team. It's just going to be a little bit slower. I think Josh is going to be able to get some threes, things like that, and hopefully I can facilitate the ball well.
And you were definitely a very strong facilitator last season. You were second in the league in assists per game with 4.3 assists per game. We know that playmaking is a strong quality of yours and something that you focus on. The league leader last year in assists per game was Sam Satterwhite, who is still in the league this year. So do you think that you could be a league leader this year in assists? And what is that kind of leadership role that you take on the Ball Hogs?
Yeah, that's really my goal. You know, I'm not out here to be the highest scorer on the team. I really want Josh and Wilson to take that role. I think, you know, I like to take the ball up, facilitate the offense. I really think I can move my assist up by 2 or 3 a game. I would like to average 6 or 7. I think that would be one of the highest assists per game in the entire league history. So that's what I'm going for this year. I just want my entire team to get fed the ball, get good cuts, good screens. We're going to be moving a lot.
Definitely. And you're obviously someone that a lot of the league has mentioned as someone that they would love to play with on their team, someone who's very selfless and very team-oriented. And you were very similar with the media last year. You showed that throughout the season, helped you guys to win a championship. So congratulations on that. Now, we touched on Garrett, obviously MVP, Finals MVP, best player last year in the SPBL. Who do you think might be the new best player in the SPBL? Do you think there is a top dog now in the SPBL this season?
I don't know if there is a top dog. I think the entire league is pretty even now. We have a lot of good players in the league. The competition is taking it to another level this year. So I don't think there is going to be a specific top dog. When it gets to the end of the year, I think it's going to be a very hard decision on who the actual MVP will be.
Sure. And like last year, there was also like some discrepancies. A lot of people said Chris or Garrett would be a top player. There was someone in the interviews last season who said that Nate Smith was the top player in the SPBL, possibly a top player. Do you think that he is like a top player in the league?
I think Nate can be a top player in the league. I don't know if he can take his own team, but with him and Chris, I really think that would elevate his game, and he could be a top player in the league.
You know who said that he was like the top player in the league last year?
Was it me?
It was you.
Yeah, no. He is a skill-wise, he is a top 3 player in the league. But when we get on the court, we'll just have to see.
Yeah. It definitely did not play out well last season for Nate's team, the Gravediggers. But back to the Ball Hogs. So you guys keep the branding this year without Garrett. What went into the decision of keeping the branding moving forward? And obviously, the only team returning their brand from last season.
Yeah, it was a tough decision because Garrett was our entire team last year, so it was hard to say, oh, let's just keep the same team and it's going to be the same. But I think me, Zach, and Josh, we fit so well. We have good team chemistry and everything. We know what everyone's going to be doing at every single point in the game. So um, I just felt like we could continue that, and maybe we can. I think we have a really good chance of winning another championship. I didn't want to just destroy the entire Ball Hogs brand. And I think Wilson fits in well and fits in that role that Garrett had. And we didn't want to buy new jerseys.
Fair enough. I can't blame you for that. Obviously, a very successful brand. Now, last season, there was talk about the names on the back of the jerseys. You were going for a Ball Hogs theme, a pig theme. You went with Oink on the back of your jersey, and none of your teammates followed. So, do you have any regrets now about the name on the back of your jersey being Oink?
No, I think everyone else on the team should have some regrets for not following the lead. I like the Oink, and really, it was the whole thing. Josh took the name Briars. So I was like, well, I'm not going to be L Briars if he's going to be Briars. So I decided to go with Oink. I tried to convince everybody. No one wanted to listen to me. So that's where we're at now. And you'll see Wilson's name on the back of his jersey is pretty interesting.
All right, I was gonna say I'm looking forward to that, seeing what's on the back of his jersey, losing G baby Garrett, but bringing in Wilson. So that will definitely be a topic of conversation. Last thing I wanted to mention with you is you were getting votes for Clutch Player of the Year last season. People really recognize you as a clutch player in this league. Now with the new format, with the Elam ending, do you think that you might be someone who will be delivering in the clutch moments for the Ball Hogs again this year? Do you think that you could potentially take home the award and hit some game-winning shots?
Yeah, well, that's the plan. Hopefully, none of the games are close, but when the game gets close, I do like to have the ball in my hands. I don't want to go home at night saying I didn't do everything I could. So I want the ball in my hands at the end of the game, whether that's me just getting an assist, passing the ball, maybe starting a play or taking the shot. I would like to have the ball in my hand towards the end of the game. So that'll never change.
It's a good mentality to have. And right before we go, there was some drama, it seemed, last year in terms of when you matched up against Joe Kina in some of your matchups. Do you have anything that's carrying forward into this season? Anything to say about what went down in your matchups last season with Joe Kina, and what do you have looking forward into this season?
It's probably just more out of frustration. Joe, I'm a little bit bigger than Joe, so he likes to play up, play physical. So I get it. I don't hold anything against him. I like Joe, so there was nothing to that.
All right, well, we'll see if Joe has a similar outlook for this season. But thank you very much for joining us for the interview. Luke, good luck this season. Hope to see another successful year out of the Ball Hogs. Thank you for joining. We are back with our second interview of the day. Josh Kina, newcomer to the league, brother of Stephen Kina, former member of the Scrappers, who was on the Blackfriars last year, was a former teammate of Chris, and now Josh Kina gets to fill in on the new look Flamethrowers, which maintains the Chris Heights and Chris Kina duo. Now gets Josh Kina added into the mix. Josh, as you probably know, the Scrappers last season did not win a championship for the first time in league history. They won one when they had Steven on the team. What do you think that you can bring to this team now? What do you think that you can add and hope to bring them back to a championship level?
I think we add like anything we need to the team. I'd be like good role player, just like whatever I need to do, help us win the championship.
How does your game compare to your brother Steven's?
I'm not like I don't play as physical. I don't really play as good defense. I'm more like shooting stuff like that.
So, you being the youngest player in SPBL history, what are some things that you're thinking about? Maybe some challenges that you are trying to overcome here, or maybe does it give you an advantage here being the youngest one?
But most people are probably gonna be like stronger than me, stuff like that. I can still play better and out compete them.
Yeah, for sure. How do you feel your conditioning has come along, and do you feel like you are well conditioned and well ready for the pace of this league?
Uh, it needs a little work, but I think I can get there.
Yeah, and obviously we are excited to see you in the league. I heard some rumors that maybe you were thinking you might be able to average a triple double. Is that true?
That is true.
A triple double. Which category would be the hardest one for you to reach each game?
Probably rebounds.
Rebounds you. So I guess give me your strategy then. So let's say you're coming into the league, you think you can average a triple double. First game, you get 2 rebounds. What's going to be your strategy moving forward?
Well, just gotta. I'm trying to get the triple double. I just gotta figure out a way to get more rebounds.
Got to figure out a way to get more boards. And so, scoring seems like something that you are confident in yourself. Do you have any celebrations ready for when you're scoring?
Yeah, so my top celebration is gonna be like John Morant's grenade celebration. That's the one I'm gonna do the most.
Do you pull a pen out with your teeth and throw it into the crowd? Any gun celebrations as well?
I don't know. We'll see. Might have to.
Are there any ways you could get more violent with the celebrations? Anything beyond grenades?
I don't know if I will, but we'll see.
All right. So, what is something that you're most looking forward to this season? First year in the league, just something that you're looking forward to, along with your experience and having fun.
I'm looking forward to winning the championship.
Are there any specific players on another team that you're looking forward to matching up against?
Everybody. I'm cook everybody.
Everybody has to watch out. Put the league on notice. Josh Keena has entered the arena, and he will be looking to have a very strong first year in the league, and hopefully get Chris Keena and Chris Heights back to a championship level with the new look flamethrowers and Nathan Smith also coming to the team. Between Nathan and Josh, we should have a lot to look forward to, and hopefully get this team back to a championship level. Josh clearly has no lack of confidence in that in himself. So we'll leave it up to the rest of the team. Definitely look forward to watching you play this season. Thank you for joining us for the interview, and good luck out there.
Thank you.
Welcome back to day 2 of SPBL Media Day. We are back with our first interviewer of the day, Joe Keena. Joe has been a true league member for 4 years now and counting. He has been a teammate of Nate Bryers for 3 years. No longer. We'll get into that soon. But first, we have a new team branding. Can you explain kind of what went into this decision and how you feel about the new team branding?
Yeah, this year we're the Gunslingers playing with Sam Satterwhite, Dave, and Bo Hightower. Sam was really the driver behind our team branding. Him and Bo worked together to fix up the colors, the name, and everything. And I like it. It implies what we're going to do this year. You know, a lot of shooting, high volume.
A lot of gunslinging going on this season for sure. So talking about your experience now with Sam Satterwhite last season, your production was boosted last season, so much so that you won Most Improved Player of the Year. Do you expect that to continue going forward? And how has Sam helped your game?
Yeah, definitely look to improve even more this year. Playing with Sam's just great. He's a great floor general. He knows where you are on the court at all times. He's able to get you the ball in space. I think playing on the larger court really helped us as well last year, and we had the highest field goal percentage in the league as a team. So, the offense felt good last year. We just couldn't get it done in the playoffs against the Hogs. But this year, me and Sam, we're going to run it back and look for a championship.
Yeah, to touch on that, a large addition to your team, Bo. A lot of hype around the league this year. Can you talk? You played with bigs in the past, like Nate Bryers, but have you gotten a chance to play with Bo yet?
Have not gotten a chance to play with Bo yet, but I've heard only good things about him. I think him and Sam Satterwhite are going to have good chemistry, and then Dave and I are going to have good chemistry as well. I think we're going to really mesh as a team. Looking forward to that first game.
Okay, yeah. And then just to touch on kind of where you've been in the league and your history. So, yeah, this is your first year ever not playing with Nate Bryers. What was your message to him? And do you wish him well? Do you want to beat him? What is your thought process?
Definitely wish him well. We've been playing together for over a decade. So that's a lot of team chemistry built up over the years. And we've done nothing but improve in the league. I think the first season we won 1 game. And the second season we won 2 games. And then last season we won 4 games. So one of us is bound to go 8-0 this year. Hopefully it's the Slingers. But I wish Nate the best. We're just going to have to beat him in the 1 game we play against him.
Now, looking at your team composition this year, you again, as we mentioned, have Sam Satterwhite, bringing in Bo Hightower, and you have David Keena. A bit of a family connection there with Dave Keena. Should be some good chemistry, but a lot of people look at Sam as a strong defender. Bo is a very strong defender. Dave has good size. He can defend. And so there have been people around the league who have been saying that you're the target on defense. If someone's going to get picked on defense on this team, it's you. What do you have to say about that, and how are you going to respond?
Yeah, I was used to that last year, especially against the Ball Hogs. They were trying to screen me off on Garrett as much as possible, and let me tell you, that sucks. If I get switched on to Jack Flynn too many times, it's retirement next year. I mean, it's retirement. Jack Flynn or Wilson, if I'm going up against 6'5", 6'4", it's over.
Do you think that your team could maybe run a zone?
That's something that we looked into last year. So I think Sam is probably like the guy in the league to run his own because he's a really good coach on the floor. We tried a little bit against the Mystics and it was working well, I thought. We just never had the chance to break it out against the Ball Hogs in the playoffs.
So we went through and asked people around the league, and you were voted the league's player with the most dog in him. And so we've noted this in the past. Like you're very scrappy. You go after loose balls. You're always giving your full effort. Do you expect that to continue this season? Do you think maybe you could win Hustle Player of the Year?
Oh, yeah, definitely. I mean, I feel like every game there's at least one time where I hit the floor. So more of that on the way for sure.
And just like speaking on your basketball character, but also just on your off season, have you took the time to improve on anything, or is there anything this year that like you're going to take pride in improving, or worked on maybe?
This year, definitely just going to play a role. No hero ball. I think Dave and I are two of the best role players in the league, and we know our job. We know what we're going to do. He rebounds. I'm on the outside. I think we're just going to play our role to help the team. We got 2 stars on the team. So we're just going to lock in and play for a championship. No personal records or anything.
That was a great answer. I think there's a lot of value in just like knowing when you're a role player and you playing a bigger part to the team to win. That's how you win. You're right. Yeah.
Now, Dave has a bit of a reputation within the media, and I'm sure you know that by now. And he is a family member of yours, so there's some like conflicting interests. I'm sure there's some conflict in your heart and in your mind about how you feel about Dave. What do you have to say about Dave and I guess his overall reputation amongst the media, amongst the league, and what it means to have him on your team this season?
Dave, I was on Zach's team that fateful year. Zach was going through a lot of pressure, from Dave, and I stood by Zach at that time, but now it's time to stand by Dave and just we got if we got to be the villains of the league, we got to be the villains of the league. It's just how it's gonna go.
Really switching up. And so, one more question I wanted to ask you: in your first 2 years, you had 3 total wins. Last year, you had 4 alone, surpassing the total from the previous 2 years combined. And now this year, your team is the second favorite to win the championship according to the media. Do you think that you can continue to build on that success? There have been some people who thought it was a fluke of a season last year for you guys, seeing that you ended up losing in the playoffs anyways. Can you build on that, and can you win a championship this season?
I think so. That's the only thing left is to get that ring. That's the peak of the SPBL, and that's what we're going for. So whatever needs to be done, we're going to do it out there on the court, and we're looking for a championship and nothing else.
That's what we love to hear. We wish you the best of luck out there this season. You're one of the media favorites for sure.
Thank you, guys.
And we are definitely looking forward to more success on the way for Joe Kina. Hopefully we can get a championship this year from the Gunslingers. Thank you for joining us.
All right. Thank you, guys.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to 2025 SPBL Media Day. I'm joined by my media compatriot, Carson Braswell. Say hi to the fans for us.
How y'all doing tonight?
And we're going to kick things off with our commissioner, Chris Kina. We got a very exciting slate of interviews ahead. Chris, how you doing?
Doing great. Glad to be here.
Now, just jumping right into things. Coming into the season, you were ranked outside of the top 3 for the player rankings for the first time, probably ever, in the SPBL. Yet, here we are, and you have the highest odds to win MVP, and the Flamethrowers are the highest odds team to win the championship. What do you think has changed in the media's opinion? Or how do you look to back up that faith in you?
Well, first of all, I believe I was second in the media rankings. Is that right? Behind Jack Flynn. I don't think much has changed in the media's eyes. I think we've added just a lot of really good players. Jack, Wilson, Bo, all really talented league members that haven't played with us before. So excited to see how all these new guys play. And I mean, like I always say, you know what you're getting from me. I've been consistent my whole career. Uh, just got to find a way to win the championship this year. That's the goal, as always.
Yeah, Chris, you were mentioning the new additions to the league. How do you think they're going to find the style of play, the physicality, the reffing? How do you think they're going to find the league when they enter?
Yeah, that's a great question because I do think the SPBL is unique to other leagues in that there's a lot of physicality, and the refs definitely call it in a particular way that not many people are used to. So there's a little bit of a learning curve. I think the talent alone will prevail, and they'll adjust pretty quickly, and I think they'll all be great.
Sure. Yep, sounds good.
Yeah, and I think astute, longtime fans of the SPBL will notice that we've got a name change. We got a bit of an identity change for your team. Past 2 seasons, you've been the Scrappers. You're the Flamethrowers now. So, what can fans expect from your team this season?
Yeah, great question, Grant. Loss of this guy over here, Carson Braswell, obviously hurts really bad for our core that we've had for so long. And I felt it would be unfair to move on with the Scrappers name without Carson, who made the Scrappers what they are. So that was what led to us choosing the Flamethrowers. And I think one thing that the Scrappers name and branding brought was it kind of told people how we were going to play. Like we were a scrappy team. That was the goal. We played hard defense, and that was what that was our game plan going in. I think the Flamethrowers kind of does a similar thing. We're looking to shoot a lot of threes. We have a lot of good 3-point shooters, especially Nate Smith, who is one of the best. So not like we're losing any of our scrappiness. Hopefully we don't. But moving on with this new team, there's kind of a new identity. We're looking to play away and put up a lot of points on people. That's the goal for the season.
Yeah, kind of piggybacking off what Grant was asking. You know, you're losing myself and Michael, but you're adding two really great players in Nate and Josh. Do you think you're getting better in both offense and defense?
It's another good question. I think first off, we have a learning curve in the chemistry department. That goes for both offense and defense. We just have to. There was something that we had as a team, me and Chris especially, where we just knew where we were going to be on every play, and that just goes such a long way in a league like this. And you can kind of play without really thinking at times because you're so used to the other person. So in that aspect, we're definitely going to be worse, and we're going to have to learn how to have chemistry with each other. And I think it's very possible. Offensively, I'm super excited because Nate Smith. I mean, he's put up 49 points in a single game. He's been one of the best 3-point shooters in the league. He's been in MVP discussions. So great offensive weapon and very capable defensively as well. Josh, we've gotten to practice a few times. He showed an extremely high ceiling. Definitely can get hot, hit some shots, and brings a dynamic to our team that we haven't had before. Now, all that being said, I do think our defense is probably going to be a bit worse than in the past years. I mean, Michael was an incredible defender. Yourself were an incredible defender and focused a lot in that area. And our mindset, I think, our overall mindset isn't as defense focused as it has been. And we'll see how that, works in success.
Yeah, Chris, you touched on that change in chemistry. Now, with these new additions to the team, we've heard some rumors, some reports coming in throughout the offseason now that there's been some discontent, some unease throughout the Flamethrowers camp. Now, do you know what the cause of that might be, or do you care to comment on that?
Yeah, I know the rumors go around, spread like wildfire. It's not anything we're not used to. I think a lot of it just comes from, new team, new identity. You don't really know how we're going to work together. And I'm big on communication, and we haven't had the best communication. I think it's a pretty tough standard to live up to for any player when you lose a guy like Carson and you have to live up to his standard. I mean, talk about just one of the greatest teammates you could ever possibly have. So it's just me not being used to not having him. And I think, Carson said it in a podcast recently. As soon as we get out there on the floor, we'll start to figure things out and get everybody locked into what we're trying to do and what we're trying to accomplish.
Yeah, we here on the BD team have been longtime fans of Mr. Braswell, so we're very excited for him to be joining us this year.
Yeah, so I think I'm going to be asking everybody one geopolitical question here. So the trade war between the U.S. and China, how do you feel about that? And did it affect the price of the jersey at all, the new jerseys for the Flamethrowers?
I don't really have too many opinions on the trade war right now, but I will say it didn't affect the price of the jersey. As far as I know, we got these for pretty cheap and they're pretty high quality. I will say it did take us a lot longer to get these jerseys. Like I ordered these before April, and they just came in like a week ago. But like I said, pretty high quality. I'm pretty happy with them, and we were able to get past the tariffs when they were in action.
That's great to hear. And to any SPBL fans in China, ni hao.
Yeah. Well, I think that's all the questions I have for Chris today. Brazzy, do you have any more for him?
I think I've covered everything.
Awesome. Well, Chris, if you have any last comments for the fans, feel free to shout yourself out, hype yourself up, talk down to anyone. We're here for everything.
Yeah, bringing the defensive fire. I think I gotta step up in that department for my team. So expect me to be picking up the best player on the enemy team every single game.
Awesome. Love to see that. I mean, defensive player of the year, or previous defensive player of the year, high chance this year. So we're looking forward to it. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks, Chris.
Looking forward to a great season.
All right, we are back at SPBL Media Day 2 with Dave Keena here for an interview. Dave, as everyone knows, has quite the history with the media. Last year's media interview got a little bit tense, one could say. So we'll try to keep things toned down this time for sure. No, we love Dave in the media. No need for any bad relations for sure. But building off of last season, looking into the offseason, there were a lot of players that left the league. You know, Michael, for example, how successful would you say this offseason was for you?
I think it was successful. I mean, I didn't do really a whole lot until recently, but I've gone out and shot a few baskets here, and it felt pretty good. I've been kind of not really related to the league, but I've been working out more this year, so maybe be a little bit stronger, a little bit more in shape.
Good. That's good to hear. Are there any league members that you're particularly happy are not in the league now this year?
Not really. Kind of ashamed to see anybody go. Really.
That's we definitely are ashamed to see the players go, but there are a lot of new players coming into the league. One of them is Bo Hightower, who is joining your team. Bo, we didn't know much about him. I'm sure you've known some things about Bo. Have you gotten a chance to do any sort of background check on him, look at his family tree, anything like that?
No family tree like Titan, but we grew up playing in the CYO and went to McGill together. He's a great athlete, played varsity basketball. So, I mean, that's in the SPBL, that's about good as you can get. So I'm really looking forward to playing with him.
For sure. So we have a special segment that we prepared for Dave. We want to do a rhyming game. So I'm going to say a word, and you have to say a word that rhymes with that word. The first word that comes to your mind that rhymes with it. Sound like a plan? So first word is clack.
Clack. Back.
It's fair. How about bigger?
Rigor.
So you had one. Okay, so the next two will be two words. You have to rhyme with both words. So how about light tower?
Bite power.
Oh, all right. That's a good one. All right. That's enough of that segment. Thank you for playing along with us. You did a fantastic job. Definitely pass with high regards for sure. Bring you back to basketball now. So you have number 14 again this season. New team, new uniforms, number 14. And we talked last year about your intention of why you wore number 14. And we just wanted to make sure, have you ever heard of something called the
I have not.
Okay, so that's good to know. No need to look into it. I'll probably keep you away from that. But just wanted to make sure that had nothing to do with your number this season.
Talking about numbers, last year you received 2 total votes for awards. What award this year do you think is most likely for you to win? Or which one do you think you have the best chance to win?
Probably MIP. Yeah, I've been a little disappointed in my performances the past 2 years, so I have really not anywhere to go but up. So,
what stat category do you think you'd most likely improve on to get MIP?
Probably points. Figure that's what probably most voters look at. But maybe a few more boards too, a few more assists.
So with your like new added strength in the gym, do you think you're gonna be a better post scorer or like rebounder, or what do you think is gonna be the best like attribute added from your gains in the gym?
Maybe finishing through contact.
Okay.
Maybe some, posting up, blacking out.
That should be. We definitely look forward to seeing some more improved strength performances out of you. Not that you weren't strong already. Obviously, we know this was something that was mentioned. You averaged more rebounds per game last season than Nate Bryers, who is the tallest player in the league. You're definitely shorter than him, but you were able to average more rebounds. It has a lot to do with your strength for sure and your tenacity on the glass. So, want to commend you for that for sure. Looking back at your past few seasons, the last 3 times that you played against Joe Kina, you scored a total of 3 points. That includes 3 of your 4 lowest scoring performances of your career. And now I don't know what Joe was doing to stop you like that, but are you glad and relieved that he is now on your team and that you won't have to play against his teams anymore?
Yeah, that's some good research. I didn't know that. Yeah, that sounds good to me.
How might
those performances?
how might the family ties impact your performance on the court this season?
Oh, should be good. Me and Joe, known each other for all our lives, so we should have some good chemistry out there.
Not for me.
Yeah. So one more thing I wanted to hit on before we left. So we talked about how Joe coming to your team should be a good thing to prevent you from having any poor performances. But you played one game in the past with Sam Satterwhite, and I don't know if you remember it. You guys won, but you scored 0 points that game. One of your only games that you've ever scored 0 points in your career. When Sam plays with you, does he not give you the ball? Does he not give you the opportunities, or is this on you?
I remember playing with him. I don't remember the game too well, but I'm sure it's not his fault. I know I think he led the league in assists last year. So, if anything, I should, get more opportunities with him. So
For sure. And, you talked about the most improved player case. You're talking about potentially getting more opportunities this season. But some people around the league have been saying that you might be a bit washed, considering that you had season lows in points, rebounds, field goal percentage last year, kind of a bit of a deterioration in performance. Do you think that the gym working out is going to turn that around? Do you think that you have, new team composition might help you turn that around? Was there something going on last year that hindered your performance?
those comments could be correct. We'll see this year.
Well, thank you for
Hopefully
joining.
not.
Yeah, hopefully not. Thank you for joining us, Dave. We look forward to seeing you out on the floor. New team, new look. Hopefully, we can get some strong performances out of Dave Keenan this season on the highly anticipated Gunslingers team. We look forward to seeing you out on the court. Thank you for joining us for Media Day, as always.
Thank you all.
Oh yeah, it was a pleasure.
Okay, so your question is, do you know what your career high in points is in the league, in the SPBL league?
33, 32.
Oh shit, 33 is on point. Do you know, this wasn't part of the question, but now I'm curious because he told me. Do you know who it was against or what year?
Last year against the Scrappers.
33 was correct, but it was versus the Lowdown in 2023.
Oh, okay.
But 33 was on spot. You got it. You got it on rib. There you go. He knows.
Yeah.
He knows what's up. So the other one you got to do for me here is you got to look at, here's some stats. 2 players. And you gotta let me know which one you would want on your team. Which one would you pick between the 2? And I can tell you who they are after.
Guy on top.
Guy on top.
Yeah,
So
this should be interesting.
the guy on top was Garrett Brooks.
Okay.
2024 stats. The guy underneath him was Jacob Brooks. 2024
Oh,
for
okay.
however many games he played. I guess
Yeah.
not many. So there you go. All right.
Welcome back, everybody, to the SPBL Media Day 2025. I am joined now with Rob Downing of the Mean Machine. Rob, how are you doing today?
Doing great, man. How you doing?
If I do any better, they put me in a home. Now, Rob, last year's media day, you came out swinging. You had some big words. You said that you were going to work Dave Keena. Now, in your games against Dave, you averaged 0 points compared to his 7.5, and he out rebounded you by 10. Now, how how does that make you feel knowing that Dave bested you like that, and then how are you looking to improve on that and beat him this year?
Well, I mean, Dave may have bested me, but I don't think his team did all that well. I mean, he's a low down player, anyways. I don't really see the hype in Dave, so it is what it is. This year, I'm gonna come out swinging again. I'm gonna get Dave this year for sure. I've made some changes. I think I'm gonna be good.
All right.
Yeah, so Rob, in 13 career SPBL games, you've only notched 3 wins, unfortunately. Is there anything you think you can do this year to kind of improve that winning percentage?
I think we got a good team we put together this year. I think we can make a deep run. Me personally, it's a team effort. It's not a me effort. So I think we have a good team that can really do it this year.
Sure thing.
Yeah, I mean, you say you've got a good team coming this year, but word coming out of training camp suggests that you might be a little bit unhappy with your team composition. Are the rumors true, or are those just media speculation?
Don't listen to the rumor mill. We have a great team. We're going to do great this year.
So I'm hearing you might have a leave of absence at some point during the season. Is there any comment you can share about that?
Those are uncorroborated reports at this time. We will find out later.
Okay.
Now, last year I mentioned your interview talking about Dave, but outside of the interview, you made a big push for Trash Talker of the Year. But come the end of the league, come voting time, you only received 2 votes for Trash Talker. Now, is that something that you're aspiring to this year? Are you going to make a bigger push for that?
I don't think I'm making a push for it this year. Maybe next year.
So in terms of your team, how familiar with Jack Flynn's game, and what do you think he can add to the league?
From what I'd say, understand he's a great shooter. I think if he's still, I haven't seen him play, but if he still possesses that, I think he's going to be a really good addition to the league.
Yeah, I mean, reports coming into the media team from our scouts indicate that Jack Flynn will be a top tier addition, but you're also joined by Hunter Freeman and Travis Wilson. Do you have any comment on them as teammates?
Those two have Travis and Hunter have great team chemistry, and I think they generally play very well together. And with the addition of Jack, I think, especially Jack and Hunter, I think that'll be a hard duo to stop. I mean, Jack pulling up from the 3 point and Hunter dominating the paint. I think some of those matchups with other teams will be very favorable for us.
And yeah, the word on the street is that you've been practicing by walking up some stairs. How is this preparing you for the season?
I'd like to know your sources on that.
I can't comment about my sources, unfortunately.
Of course you can. Y'all are a bunch of media people, huh? Can never comment on who these sources are. They're all unreliable.
Got to protect my sources.
Of course.
I mean, you do come after us, but in all reality, you are a bit of a media darling. We've come under fire for our odds. Some people say your MVP odds are too high. Some people are even calling you the Make-A-Wish kid of the SPBL. Now, what do you have to say about that?
But if you're talking about Nate Breyer's comments, maybe if he could go up and down the court multiple times in a game and not be absolutely gassed, maybe he would have better MVP odds. But that's just my take.
Rob, you're currently listed at plus 2,700 odds for most improved player. Do you think you can go on a run and give that award a scare?
Sure. I don't know who makes the odds, but I mean the bar is pretty low there.
You're the media that I know you dearly love makes the odds, but I think I could see you going on a run and making some voters think about tossing some votes your way. So I'd like to see it.
Yeah, and I think for our final question, last year you were number 55. This year you're number 5. Is there any reason for the number change, or is it just all aesthetic?
I made some changes in my life, ditched the glasses, lost some weight. I figured why not change the number two.
Oh yeah. All right, now Rob, we're gonna let you go. But before we do you have any last comments? Anything you want to say to the rest of the league?
Good luck.
All right. Thank you for being here, Rob. It was a pleasure.
Welcome back to SPBL Media Day 2. We are here with Nate Briers for his interview. Nate Briers is a somewhat controversial player within the media. A lot of different opinions on his performances. But before we get into that, I wanted to talk about your new team branding that you have. You obviously went from the Blackfriars last year to the LA Blues this year. And you had a lot of influence over the Blackfriars team branding and the names on the back of the jerseys last year. Did you have any say in this year's as well? Where did that come from?
Well, it was if it was up to Alan Edeker, he would have been the Donald Trump's Twinks or something like that. It would have been some terrible name. It would have. So I had to I almost had to trade him. I was about to have to trade him to another team so that I didn't have to play under that team name. But so we forced the LA Blues as a compromise, but that was pretty much Allen's suggested team name. So I had less of an input this year than I did last year.
Not as much input, but we do like the LA Blues branding for sure. A cool logo, one of the best in the league, potentially the best in the league, depending on who you ask. But back to things that have been said by the media in recent months and going back to last season. A lot of media members are quick to point out that Dave Keena had more rebounds per game than you last season. And we know Dave is a good rebounder, but a lot of people expected more from you. What do you have to say to either those media members or people around the league who are making comments about you?
I mean, shoot, when rebounding's all you have to offer, I guess you got to excel at it. I think that I'm one of the few people in the league that can actually, you just get the ball to in the post and I can actually score from that position. I also think I'm really good at pick and roll, and I don't think people necessarily like David or maybe Hunter. I think some of these people hunt defensive rebounds to stat pad. So, and then you get people like Chris Hines or not Chris Hines, Chris Keena and Luke and stuff that are they're smaller, they're point guard type players, and people are sitting there boxing out elbow and elbow, and it's a fight in the paint, and the ball just flies overhead, and these guys just get to pick up an easy rebound that they're just standing around for. So. And Garrett made that point, by the way, for Luke that he came across easy rebounds. So I think there's on paper, if you look at it, it looks like it's really close. But if you look at it as a whole, I feel like I definitely can improve rebounding, but I don't think it's as bad as the disparity between me and Hunter.
Why do you think people bring up those points? Why do you think that you get chastised, in your opinion, more by the media than other players? Because I saw a YouTube comment recently where you were actually complaining that you get a little injustice from the media, a little extra, say fire coming your way. Why do you think that is?
Well, I mean, I think the media is after me because I'm a vocal player. Some people just like Joseph Keena and stuff. They're just slide by. They don't really say too much, but I think I say a lot of stuff, and I know people expect more from me because I'm 6'4", but come on now, let's be real. I'm pushing 300 pounds, so I'm trying my hardest out there. Stamina's an issue, but so I think that a lot of it is that people look at me and they're like, oh, well, this guy should just be able to do this. But I've had 4 knee surgeries on the same knee, and some of that stuff is it really does take an impact. In a scrimmage earlier, we were playing the Ball Hogs, and I went up and look, I tried as hard as I could. I swatted Wilson Parker's shot, set the tone, first play of the game, and came down to my knee, and it was hurting real bad after that. So, so some of that factors in, I think, is stamina and just an injury history.
Would you say it makes you? Would you say it makes you less aggressive, because you're thinking about it in the back of your mind?
Yeah, I think especially in terms of driving to the basket and trying to draw contact, I pretty much prefer not to. That's why I like backing someone down in the post. It's pretty much just from the front to back, and just turning and getting up a hook shot, or just shooting a three. Because I also try to play in a way that is efficient and not take contested 2-point faders. I'm not trying to take those shots. So I want to take shots that make sense, but also I feel like I'm better than most people would expect on drives, but I rarely get them because no one's trying to set a screen on whoever's guarding me. So it's that's something that I think is going to change this year because of the size of my team.
Okay.
Yeah, talking about your production and you're always trying to find the best shot and everything. I wanted to ask if you have any rivals around the league. The reason I asked is there was an anonymous player who quoted that while you're 6'4", you play like you're 5'4". Who do you think that might be, and maybe who are you looking forward to matching up most against this season?
This was a player that said this.
It was an anonymous source within the league.
Well, I feel like it was Grant, but yeah. I mean, here's the thing. I would say that first of all, he's wrong about that. There's just no way. Like I feel like half my points come from just like getting an offensive rebound and putting up a shot back at the rim. So I mean, you could go back and look at the games and try to figure that out. But I feel like a lot of my production comes that way. But I feel like this year, with the way that my team is composed, that we're gonna have such a dominant presence in all aspects of the game. Because we have me and Allen are both bigger guys that can play in the post, as well as like Neil and Drew are like bigger guards that can play outside, but they drive inside too. And so I think that I honestly think my rebound total is going to go up this year, and apparently I've just got to go out here like swinging elbows and stuff and punching people in the face to set the tone that I'm 6'4".
Hey, it wasn't me. All I know is it was an anonymous source, and obviously we know that you have had some discrepancies within the media about how they feel about you, but also players in the league alone. I'm sure there are some players who you may not necessarily get along the best with, so that's why I wanted to ask if there was any matchup specifically that you're looking forward to.
Yeah, I think that first of all my enemies are the people that I'm going to be guarding this year. We're talking the Bo Hightowers, the Wilson Parkers, the Nate Smiths, all these guys. I'm coming after them. I think that I'm way better of a defender, and than especially like Grant, who said that our team is has the worst interior defense in the league. Like we're talking, there's a team with David Keena as their primary big man, but our team is like the worst one. Like talk about a terrible take. And I just think that like I can guard any of these guys. I can guard Wilson Parker. I can guard Bo Hightower. I've never even seen this guy until right now. But but I think I can guard him. I think I can guard Nate Smith, even though he's a prolific 3-point shooter. He kind of parks himself at the 3-point line. So I think that I can do that on defense, and then on offense, I think I can tear these guys up. I weigh a lot more than them. I'm taller than most of the league, except Wilson. But y'all didn't see that. Y'all didn't see the South Alabama scrimmage that we had. Dude, Wilson was he was on his back foot the whole time because I feel like I played pretty well against him.
That's some good information that you just provided us. I'm sure we'll be looking forward to our interview with Wilson, and we'll be looking forward to your matchups with Wilson throughout the season. And these other big men, obviously Bo just joined the league. That'll be an interesting matchup for you, and then the other big guys as well.
So correct me if I'm wrong, but in the MVP odds, you were like way farther down the list than you expected. Correct? It wasn't.
Dude, there was
Titan?
Robert Downing in front of me, and a guy who's not even in the league was
Yeah.
in front of me.
Yeah, just give us your take about that. How you feel about that?
Like, what was the media thinking with that? Who was the person that put Robert Downing? Like, this guy might not even he'll go 3 games without scoring a point. Like, come on now. Like, and this guy's gonna go out there and has more of a chance to win MVP. Or like my brother Josh, I respect him. I like the way he plays and stuff. But let's be real. At the end of the day, this guy, every time if I guarded him, like last year we played him 3 times. This guy's shooting 3 of 18 when I guard him, but nobody gives me credit for that. And I feel like that he had a 10 times better chance to win MVP than me. I feel like stuff like that's crazy.
Yeah. Well, do you have any idea who might have been the media member who gave Rob a chance at MVP?
Yeah, I'll just come out and say it was me because it's a narrative game. It's a narrative game. And if Rob had a great season, the media hype train for Rob would be unstoppable. And that's why he gets that bonus. Your odds are independent from Rob's odds. So however you feel about your odds, Rob is a separate issue.
Now, I will say Rob was quoted acknowledging that he thinks that his own odds are Make-A-Wish odds, and he feels like a Make-A-Wish kid,
the media appreciates his humility, and it's honestly very, gives him a lot of fans in the media. But as for the Titan being ranked above you, I would say that was like an interesting play. But I mean, we'll have to see. I guess might be close.
That was some self confidence.
Yeah,
from
some
Titan
self-glaze by
himself.
Titan, I think.
Yeah, that probably could have been left out, but had to include all of the odds in there. But moving back over to your play on the court, you and Joe have been together for 3 seasons now. It's your first year now without Joe Kina on your team. How is that going to change for you? And are you looking forward to matching up against him? Do you wish him success with his new team in the Gunslingers? What are your thoughts?
I can't wait to hip check that dude, knock him straight to the ground. He, he plays scrappy, and I know exactly his play style. And I'm going to be calling for that guy to get some fouls because I know in the first year he led the league in fouls, I'm pretty sure. And he has a scrappy play style, and I'm really hoping to go against him because we haven't gone against each other in a formal setting since 2014 or 2015. So it's been about 10 years or more since we've actually gone against each other, and I actually really look forward to it.
Yeah, we definitely highly anticipate it. Joe said that he wishes you the best moving forward, but obviously the competitor in him wants to beat you for sure. I don't know if he had the same aggression that you just displayed, but I'm sure once he sees it, it might flare up in him. Going back to some awards talk, last year you were second in the league for referee of the year. You lost to Joe Kina, your former teammate. Would you consider yourself to be a better basketball player or referee?
Look, I think I know it might be a hot take, especially, we're in Chris Heights' house. I know that he's probably got to have me as dead last as referee, but I feel like I'm the best referee that there is out there. You get some people, I'm not going to name names. Well, I will. Alan Edeker's one of them. Doesn't call fouls. Like, let's be real. He's choking on his whistle. Some people around the league have told me Chris Kina chokes on his whistle. So that they were saying that basically these guys don't call fouls. I probably call half the fouls in the league. And so I feel like I'm a pretty good ref, and I feel like I'm pretty fair in determining like what a foul is and like explaining it to the people afterwards. I'm not like David Kina where you ask this guy, "Hey man, who was the foul on?" and then he just has no idea who he just called the foul on. Like, I'm not like that. So I think that I'm one of the better refs.
Who, besides yourself, who would you say is the best ref? Who did you vote for, unless you voted for yourself?
I'm pretty sure I voted for myself. But if it wasn't me, I think I'd probably go with either Sam Satterwhite or Chris Kina. Oh, wait, no. Garrett was in the league last year. I would have voted for Garrett. He was a good ref, and I feel like his presence this year is going to be missed.
Definitely. He was a very good league member, was there for a lot of league events. Among the SPBL players, you were voted as the most religious player in the league. And we know you take a lot of pride in that. But on the other hand, you received no votes for sportsmanship player of the year last season. Do faith and sportsmanship not go hand in hand? Is there something that I'm missing here?
Look, I think it was that Sam Honeycutt push that did me in. Look, I'm just, in my defense, I've never pushed somebody and they've just launched off their feet, and went and slid back like that. I didn't expect that. But I also felt like he should have braced a little bit. He should have known it was coming. He saw me get up,
Dude, it was on Sam for taking the push.
I should note that this was a career-ending injury as well.
Well, I thought he flopped, to be honest. Like at first, I thought he was just like trying to get a flop in to get me ejected or something. Like I thought it was that, and I didn't realize until afterwards that he was actually hurt from that. And so I feel bad about it, but he was definitely he should have, the trash talk that he was spouting out before that was he definitely should be the all-time league trash talker.
So the push was warranted.
No, it definitely wasn't. But I just wish that, if I could have gone back, obviously, I wish I could cool my temper because I feel like that's the biggest thing. My girlfriend probably will tell you that, but she always tells me to calm down, be patient, stuff like that. So if I could just cool my temper down, and see, my whole family's like that. Like Luke's like that because me and Luke, we got into it last year a little bit. But I just wish if I could go back, I definitely wouldn't do that. But I think that's what hurt my chances to win the sportsmanship award, and justifiably so.
Fair point.
I think what a redemption story would be after the shepherd around the world to league sportsmanship award winner. I don't think there's any better Cinderella stories in sports. Like, was that a goal for you, or do you not care about that title? Do you just come for blood? You want to set the tone?
Well, I mean, I think I'm cooked this year. I mean, Chris Hite's putting this whole thing on. He's got to be the early like front runner here because and because I think some of that is Hunter winning in the past is that's contributed to it. Him like hosting stuff at his house like this, and Chris Hines, he might get into the season and bad blood starts between him and everybody else. So I think that maybe that he won't win, but I definitely wish that I could win that. But I also do, especially as like the physical presence of like being a center on a team, you have to set the tone defensively, and that's what I like playing the most is defense. So I feel like I still have to do that, and I can't just be like Mr. Nice Guy out there.
I would say it is difficult to be a physical player and also make tons of friends on the court. They don't really go hand in hand. And that's also an interesting point about Heights, maybe as a front runner for the sportsmanship award after graciously inviting us to have this event at his house.
There have been some narratives being pushed about Heights winning sportsmanship of the year, so it'll be interesting to see how that plays out. Is there anyone else or anything else you want to mention or call out while you have the chance here at Media Day?
Look, I think the personal hatred, the vitriol that I've gotten from the media has been absolutely wild. Like, I don't know what I did to any of these people to make them like Grant, dude, what did I do to that guy? He absolutely hates me. Like, nobody gets talked about as badly as I do in these videos that y'all put out. I mean, it is just like, it's like, oh, Sam Satterwhite, he's such a good player. And I will say, Titan, this guy defended me, and I would say if he put money on me, he might win for Most Improved Player of the Year. And maybe not. The Defensive Player of the Year is another award. Those two, don't put money on me to win MVP or any of the other awards. But if he was going to put down money, I'll do my best to make sure that he actually gets it.
Now, as we mentioned before, Titan did put himself above you for most valuable player, but he did have your back for sure on Most Improved and Defensive Player of the Year. And when he has your back, he really has your back. He will definitely be fighting for you throughout the season, and will definitely be on your side throughout the season. And we hope to see a great season out of you. We wish you best of luck this year with your new look, LA Blues. Should be a very interesting season for your team, and we wish you the best of luck.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. That was great.
All right, welcome back, everybody. Carson and I are now joined with Drew Bushman of the LA Blues. Drew, we are so happy to have you here.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I'm glad to be here, ready for the season to start.
Yeah, absolutely. So you've played in the SPBL before. You subbed in two seasons ago before taking on a personal spot. Now you're a full-time member for the whole season. You're joining some previous teammates, Neil also. How are you feeling about this season?
I'm excited to play with Neil again. I feel like me and him play pretty well together. But yeah, we scrimmaged Luke Breyer's team at South, and it was the first time that all four of my team members played together, and we played pretty well. So I'm excited just to get some more chemistry going with those guys.
Yeah, I've heard some rumors that you've been saying that you're going to clamp every team's best player. So can you kind of speak to where your confidence on the defensive side of the ball comes from?
So I grew up playing basketball my whole life, and I always focused on defense. So I feel like defense really starts your offense. So if you can have a good defense, it's going to make it easier for your offense because the team's not going to be scoring as much.
Yep, sure thing.
Now, with all that being said, is there a particular player that you're most excited to play against, most excited to guard, or is it just whoever wants it can take it?
Really just whoever I need to match up against. I know I'm not the tallest guy, but I don't back away from guarding big guys or anything like that. So it's just whoever I need to guard, I'll guard.
So yeah, I heard that your team rode together for the media day to discuss strategy. Can you let us in on any what was discussed and how y'all feeling to start out the season?
We didn't really talk about anything riding over here today. It's pretty much Neil and Nate know a lot of the guys more than I do because they've played for so long. So they kind of had some ideas on what we should do, and so I'm not gonna delve out all of our secrets, but y'all see them whenever we get out on the court.
Yeah. So do you have game plans for specific players, or are you just kind of applying a general approach to each game?
We've got they have like a key player on each team, so they kind of just focus on him, shut that one person down, and it should help with everything else.
Makes sense.
Now, the media currently has you or has the Blues as the current lowest odds to win the SPBL championship. Now, there's been some controversy about that. We've heard quite a few things from some of the league members. What are your thoughts? Why? What are the media missing? Why shouldn't we have y'all so low?
I don't really know. Maybe because I don't know. Maybe we don't have that prolific offensive scorer, or but I think our team's really really well rounded, and we're going to be holding a lot of teams to low amount of points. So I think we should be able to come out with a bunch of wins and surprise everyone.
Yeah. So the media, not including myself, has expressed some concerns about the backcourt of you and Neil. What can you say about this? And is one basketball enough for the two of you?
One basketball is definitely enough for the two of us. I'm not a very selfish player, so I'm always looking to find the open guy and get him to score. But yeah, I think I don't have no problem with stepping back if Neil's hot, or if I need to pick up some scoring, I can pick it up. Me and Neil play well together, and we've known each other for a really long time, so it shouldn't be a problem.
I think one X factor that people haven't really been talking about with the Blues is the addition of Alan Edeker. He comes in the season with the second highest odds to win Most Improved Player. Now, what are some strengths of his? What are you most excited to see on the court from him?
So he's just a big presence. So he's gonna be big, helping us down in the post with him and Nate. Setting picks for me and Neil, and then rolling to the basket, getting some open layups and finding some rebounds and stuff like that. So we're excited that we got him on our team.
Yep, Drew, we appreciate you taking the time to speak with us. Are there any closing comments you'd like to say?
Other than us getting all the hate, I'm excited to see if we can prove y'all wrong.
I hope you do, man. Thanks so much for joining us.
Thanks, Drew.
All right, Dave. So your trivia question is, and these trivia questions will be about you.
Okay.
So you hold the record for most rebounds in a game to not lead your team in rebounds.
Oh, wow.
On July 11th, 2024, your teammate Hunter had 26 rebounds. How many did you have in that game?
Oh, I'm going to go 17.
Close. 18.
Ah,
That's pretty close. That's a good guess. All right,
I remember that game.
Oh, you remember? All right.
I think it was against the Gravediggers.
Chris didn't tell me. I don't know. I don't know.
We'll pretend we know, and you're right.
I think he's probably right.
Yeah.
He was one off on the rebounds. So
Yeah, he remembers the game.
Yeah. Okay, I got a second question for you. Ready?
Okay.
You got two players here. Their stats, and you gotta tell me which one you would take.
Okay. So better points, rebounds, assists. But the field goal percentage is worse, and turnovers. My gut's telling me the 15.3 a game. Better
15.3.
Better
one.
3 slash line right there. Maybe just worse percentages because they're taking more shots, more turnovers,
That's
better because
fair.
they're ball handlers.
All right, I got. Let's see. You went with the 15. So player one. Player one was Logan.
Logan, okay.
And it was Josh Bryers was the other player, and it was career stats. So what they put in so far. So there you go. All right, we got Logan.
Do you stand by your choice after?
Depends on what season of Logan you get.
Okay, fair.
First year or last year?
Fair.
First year, last year, Logan. That is a good question. It is because it is career stats. So, all right. Well, that's
That's
all
all.
for you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate your time.
Thank you all.
All right, Heights. You've played in the league for You've played a league high 24 games. There we go. And how many of those games did you have exactly 3 steals?
Ooh, 3 steals. 3 steals out of 24?
Yeah.
Exactly 3. Because I normally have more than 3. Because I think I led the league in steals last year. I was I was close. I don't remember. I'm going to go with 6.
6. The answer's 11.
11. Dang, dude, I was thinking 11. I was literally thinking 11. I was like, that's way too high.
There you go. We'll see you underrating
That's
yourself
crazy.
a little bit there.
Dang, man. That's pretty cool. I literally thought like 11? No, that's way too many. That's funny.
So I got a second question.
All right.
So the other question is scroll a little bit.
Oh, geez.
So we got 2 players' stats.
Okay.
And you gotta tell me which one you would take on your team.
Man, look at those fantastic 3-point percentages, man. Whew. See, so about the same points, a few more rebounds for the top guy, about the same assists, a few more blocks. Jeez, man, those percentages are really poor. I wish we had like field goal attempts and 3-point attempts. That would probably give me a little bit more insight.
That would be important. I wasn't given
But I guess,
given that stat.
I mean, honestly, like I guess I'll go with. I'm gonna go with player B. They've got a little bit better shooting percentages, a few more turnovers, but they've also got a few more assists. So I think I'll go with player B.
All right, player B. So player A was Michael Roberts.
All right.
Player B was Nate Bryers.
Oh, okay.
These are career stats.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
There you go.
Not too bad. Not too bad.
You stand with your choice after knowing who's who?
I think Nate's a good player. I think he's a little underrated. I like Nate. He doesn't really like me when he's reffing. We've had a little bit of beef before, but I think Nate's a good player. I think I'd pick him over Michael.
Well, there you go.
Because Nate's played more games.
Thank you for your time, sir.
Absolutely.
We're back at SPBL Media Day 2 for our interview with Neil Alsop. Neil, a favorite amongst the media, one of our highly anticipated interviews this year. You have a new team this year. Last year you were with Travis, Dave, and Hunter, and now this year you have obviously Nate, Drew, and Alan. What is the team change-up going to be for you? Obviously, you played 2 consecutive years with Travis and Hunter. No longer with them. How do you anticipate your ability on the floor this season? What do you think is going to change for you this year?
I mean, I just think I'm on a better team now. Me and Drew have always had sort of a good chemistry playing sports. I like how Nate plays. Alan gets after it. I think I got an upgrade. So,
do you think that your scoring output might increase this year, or do you think that the presence of Drew might take some away from that?
I'm gonna go out there game 1 and drop 50 for fun. But the average for the season will probably stay the same. We're gonna share the ball.
For sure. Now, a lot of people are always confident in their abilities and their new team. A lot of people like to exude confidence for sure. Last year, there was someone who said that if they weren't dropping 30 a game, you should slap them in the face. Do you think it would be like fair to slap them in the face if they didn't drop 30 in the games?
No, I mean.
No, so if someone said that they're going to drop 30 every game and then they weren't dropping 30, it's not fair to slap them in the face?
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it's fair. It's fair.
Okay. That was you. Yeah. And you scored 30 one time, but only one, and it was at the end of the year. So we hope that you drop 50 in the first game this season. That would be fantastic.
Yeah, I set some record.
Definitely need you on the record books more. And points might be the way to do it.
I'm very pissed. I did not get the trash talker of the year. That should be sitting at my house.
Is that going to be an obligation for you this season to try to win that?
I mean, as long as I'm on the court, there's no reason it shouldn't go to me. But yeah, that should be my award. Should have been last year.
Have you been playing much basketball this summer or this last year before the off season?
I mean, every week for 15 years. I mean, it's just fun cardio for me. I'll shoot at the house. I'll go play pickup every now and then. But yeah, I mean, really, instead of going on jogs or something, I'll shoot basketball for a while.
So you think you're gonna be in better shape than most other league members?
Yeah, I'm down 20 pounds since Christmas. I'll be faster out there, so I know that sucks for them, but
And then we were talking earlier about adding Drew, and actually some of your most efficient games last year were paired with Drew.
2 years ago.
2 years ago.
When he
Excuse
came
me.
on your team.
Right. That's what I meant. So what kind of so you might be more efficient scorer, but you actually were the second most efficient 3-point shooter last year. What kind of jump do you think you can make this year? Maybe the most efficient, maybe past Sam Satterwhite?
I think I can. I mean, y'all know as well. I shot a lot of risky shots at times.
We love the risky shots, the electric Neil.
Yeah. But no, yeah. I think my 3-point will go up. Like I said, I'm just not going to shoot as many dumb shots.
Honestly, it surprised me to see that because of your shot selection. I was like no way, but I mean, it can't be that bad if it's that high.
Yeah. I don't know. Some people make jokes too because it's almost like I'll miss a wide open 3, but if someone's hand is straight up in my face, I'll make it. So I don't know.
I've talked to.
I'm hungover as hell if you can't tell. So.
Oh, I mean, aren't we all? So we talked a lot about your offense. There were some anonymous league sources who said that your nickname should be Urantula. I don't know if you've heard the term Durantula, which is like Kevin Durant's name, because you are like Kevin Durant offensively, but there's no D. And so, what do you have to say about that?
That's spot on. I'm not going to argue with that. Yeah, I mean, I was just telling them in there, like my defense, it's a liability. I mean, for 5'11", I should be great, on the perimeter and whatnot. I'm better playing down low defense. Even though I'm a guard on every team I'm on, so I don't know. Arantula's right. Yeah.
You have obviously a lot of nicknames among the media, but there was some source causing some unnecessary drama, maybe, so to speak, with that one. But talking about your awards voting that we were mentioning earlier with your trash talking, last year you were second in Clutch Player of the Year voting, and now this year we have the introduction of the Elam ending. And so when you have a game-winning shot at the end of each game, are you going to be the one that wants the ball in your hands at the
100%,
end?
100%. I mean, as far as clutch, I mean,
Sam was the winner of it.
Yeah, I mean, I get that, but what he didn't have. What actual clutch, like, game moments did he have?
It's a good question. I mean, there were definitely some moments. There were no game winners. Obviously, you didn't have any game winners either. But there was that game against the Scrappers when you kind of turned it on in the fourth quarter and helped propel the Mystics to a victory there. You also mentioned last year how Chris was one of the matchups that you were most looking forward to, and
we always played. I mean, that's almost like game of the year because we play each other well. And actually, that's usually the only game I play defense.
You turn it all on for that one game to go up against Chris. Is there anyone else maybe that you're looking forward to matching up against this season?
That I would guard or just play in general?
Either one.
I mean, I guess Bo. Probably Bo. I guess Sam. I want to be guarding Sam's too quick for me.
Would you be guarding Bo?
Probably, yeah. But no, yeah, but really those two. I'm excited to see Wilson Parker on the court. I hear mixed reactions about his play style and whatnot. I mean, I played a couple pickup games against him and with him on my team the past couple months, and he's definitely a player to watch out for.
Now, you said that Sam is too quick for you to guard him, and you were voted amongst the players as the player in the league with the best mustache. But there is some concern.
Really?
Yeah, you were. Best mustache.
That might be that just made my day. So
Well, there was some concern though that the mustache might be weighing you down on defense and preventing you from being quick enough to guard Sam. Is there truth to that?
I mean, there could be. I don't know. Are you saying I should take it off?
I'm not saying you should take it off. I mean, you were voted best mustache. I mean, the look is great.
Yeah. I try to keep it trimmed. But I appreciate that. I've been called a so that's a compliment to me. So
Yeah, keep it trimmed and it doesn't add too much weight, and then maybe some.
both worlds. Should I just grow it out all the way for the season?
That would be a great look. Another media darling moment there for sure.
Or should I get a buzz cut?
Maybe both.
A buzz cut would definitely take some weight off, but I'm not the fashion police here.
Actually, you know what? What about growing it out and getting cornrows for the summer?
Cornrows for the summer for SPBL. You would certainly be making a statement with your looks. You might win best hair next year as well, not just best mustache. But that is all that we have for you today. We appreciate you joining us. Always a fantastic interview. Is there anything else that you wanted to mention about anyone in the league or anyone in the media before we let you go?
Well, first of all, I love that y'all do this. It does make everything more fun. I'm probably usually the first viewer on every YouTube video, but as far as the league, Arangelo, whatever. I'm gonna be on it this year, man. I'm getting the Clutch Award. Trash talk all day. MVP probably not. That's usually rigged for the Keenas.
Is there anything that was in the awards video or the odds video, I should say, for the awards that might have intrigued you?
Yeah. As far as MVP, I love Titans odds.
Titans got some pretty good odds for MVP, higher than you would expect.
Yeah. I forgot some of the odds. A lot of them made sense. I still don't know who to pay to bet on it.
And so the LA Blues were at the bottom of the league in terms of most likely to win the championship. What's your reaction to that?
I mean, I guess we're the oldest team, so they gotta be mean to us or something. I mean, but no, yeah. I mean, we're gonna be in the championship game. I can tell you that.
Championship against who?
Against who? Probably the Mean Machine. The hell no, I'm kidding. I don't know, flamethrowers. Is that Keena's team?
That is Keena's team.
No, probably someone else. No, we're gonna play them, and game of the year will be end of summer. Me versus Keena. Bring your popcorn.
Oh man, heard it here first. Blues versus Flamethrowers in the championship. Neil versus Keena. Always an electric matchup for sure. We look forward to seeing you out on the court this year. Look forward to calling your games. And we definitely wish you the best of luck. You and the Blues. New team, new Neil. Hopefully we get a championship this year.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, Rob. You've played for the most teams of any player in the SPBL. How many different teams have you played for, including your career?
It's quite a few. I'm going to guess 7.
Spot on. 7 is the answer.
Good work.
All right, well done. All right, so the second question is we got 2 players here, and you gotta pick one to be on your team.
Okay. Which how do you is one A or one?
Yeah,
or 2,
let's do
or?
the top one's A, bottom one's B.
I guess I'd have to go with B.
B? All right. So these are career stats, by the way, that you're looking at. A is Brazzy and B is Zach.
Okay.
So there you go.
After knowing that, does your opinion change?
No, I like Zach. He's a good player.
All right.
All right. Thank you for your time, Rob.
All right.
Welcome back, everybody, to SPBL Media Day 2025. Right now, we are joined with Chris Heights of the Flamethrowers. Chris, we are very happy to have you here.
Happy to be here, man. I mean, it is my house, so yeah, happy to be here.
And thank you so much for letting us use it. Now, we can start with a pretty big question here. Past 2 years, you've been the Scrappers. You've had very strong team identity. You've lost a couple players. You've gained a couple players. Now you're the Flamethrowers. How does that name change reflect your mentality shift or your game plan shift this season?
Ooh, that's a great question. So when we were the Scrappers, the idea behind the name was like we're gonna be the scrappy team. You know, we're gonna play hard defense. We're gonna try and score as much as we can, but defense was the main focus, and I think we're gonna kind of switch that a little bit this year with the addition of Nate Smith and Josh Keena, both of which are pretty good shooters. I've played with Josh twice now. First time, not great. Second time, significantly better. He was shooting lights out, and the Flamethrowers now is going to be more of an offense focused team. Nate can, I mean, he has the highest scoring in game ever with 50. I think he had 50
Something like that, yeah.
It was crazy. So if he can come in top form and perform the way that we know he can, we're gonna be shooting the lights out, and that's where the big change I think is coming from.
Yeah, so league sources have you as the front runner for the sportsmanship award. Especially for hosting the whole league at your house for media day, which we do appreciate. You like to be kind of someone who is an enforcer, and so is this even an award that you want to win, or you kind of focus on defensive player, most improved, something along those lines?
So I mean, I'm not opposed to winning. I'm not opposed to winning the award. And me offering the house wasn't me trying to win the award. It was just, it was either between here or the Corpus Christi gym, and there's no AC. So I don't know about y'all. I don't really want to hang out in a place that has no AC if I can help it. Winning sportsmanship would be awesome. Because I feel like I have the identity of being a mean person or whatever, and kind of being part of the bad boys or whatever. And I don't love that. I don't love that. I'm a fiery guy, and I tend to get in people's faces and stuff. But it's not because I dislike them. That's just who I am. So knowing that I'm the front runner for the sportsmanship, that's a huge shift for me, and that makes me feel pretty good.
Sure thing.
And in terms of other awards, you're also number 3 in Defensive Player of the Year odds. Now, you've kind of just missed out on that award in previous seasons. You've been first team all defense before. Is there any particular part of your game that you're looking to improve to kind of get you over that threshold?
So in terms of just defense, honestly, so the past few years it's kind of been I'm the kind of the floating guy. I'm helping on pretty much every pick and roll. I'm trying to help off of my guy to help make sure that they don't get points in the paint, because in case anybody doesn't know, we have a bit of a shooting problem in this league for everybody. So trying to prevent points in the paint is much more important than preventing the three. At least that's kind of the game plan that we've been going off of. So I think hopefully this year, we're probably going to keep with the same kind of game plan. And I mean, honestly, I don't really have much else to prove. I led the league in steals last year. My one-on-one defense is. I guess the only thing would be lateral quickness. If I had to improve something, it would be my lateral quickness. I'm getting a little bit up there in age, so I'm losing a little bit of the quickness. But I've been practicing, and hopefully I can get back to the way I was.
I can certainly relate to the age comment. Father time waits for nobody.
Yeah, I can feel the retirement home calling. It's
so, the Scrappers or the Flamethrowers, losing myself and Michael, and you're adding Nate Smith and Josh Keena. And I asked this to Chris as well, but do you think you're getting better on both sides of the ball, adding Nate Smith and Josh Keena?
As of this moment, I can't really answer that question because we haven't played a full game together. I think after the first game, I'd be able to to have a valid opinion of that. But in terms of getting better, just on paper, I do think we've improved offensively. Not to diss you, Brazzy, because you are a very important part of our team. But I think we can both agree that Nate Smith is a little bit better on offense than you.
Definitely.
No shade, no disrespect, but These are just the facts. And Michael was a defensive presence. He was excellent. I think he blocked Nate like 7 times in one game or something crazy. Like it was a big battle. So losing him is a pretty big blow, but I don't think we necessarily got significantly worse defensively. We did lose some height, which is unfortunate because like Chris is the tallest by probably like an inch over me, and he's only like 5'11". And we have 2 6'4" guys in this league, so that's going to be one interesting game. But I don't think we necessarily. I don't know. I can't really answer at this moment, but I do think the addition of Nate Smith is going to be huge, and I'm hoping we can boost our scoring average by at least 20 points.
I do agree. I think Nate's going to be a big presence on offense for sure.
Yeah, and I mean, coming into this season, Chris Keena is the MVP favorite. Flamethrowers are the championship favorite, but all of the media talk are these rumors swirling out of the locker room that there's some sort of discontent. People are unhappy. Now, is there any truth to that, or do you know where those rumors might be coming from?
So for me, I'm not unhappy at all. Like I'm super excited to play with Nate. I've played with him and against him for years, and he's an absolutely excellent player. Like there have been times where I've had to guard him, and he hits a shot, and I just have no idea how he did it. Like I came as close to blocking it as physically possible, and it just swished right through the net. So like there's nothing I could do. So I'm super excited to play with him. The only like I guess rumor you could say is like we haven't had a chance to practice all 4 of us together. Chris, Josh, and I were able to get together, but Nate's been super busy with med school and he's traveling, and like it's hard for all of us to be in the same place at the same time. So I'm not unhappy. I'm not unhappy with Chris, Nate, or Josh. Obviously every team can improve. Every team has things to improve on, so we're gonna have to do that. But not unhappy whatsoever.
Oh, that's good to hear.
Yeah, so you've kind of been known as one of the better underrated shooters in the league, but sometimes can be a bit streaky. Is this something that you've been working on, and how do you think you can game plan for your shooting?
So listen, here's the thing. Last year, aside from one game, I led the league in 3-point percentage. There was one game where I went 0 for 14. I did come back from a trip and drove down that day and then played the game, so there was a reason for that. But that was a terrible game, and that can't happen again. Like that simply just can't happen. That's unacceptable. I have been practicing. There's a court on the Coast Guard base that I work on, so I've been going pretty much every day after work to try to get at least a few shots up and to try to work on my game. And it's been going pretty well so far. In terms of like planning for it, it's hard to plan for 0 for 14, man. Like that's a shooting anomaly, to put it lightly. So the idea is that I probably won't be shooting as much, just because Nate's probably going to take a lot of the shots. Chris is going to get his. He's going to average his 20 on 28 shots or whatever it is, like stupid efficient. Nate's going to get his. So there's only one ball. There's only one hoop. So I just, whenever I get the chance, like even if I'm only taking like 2 a game, I got to make sure those count. So hopefully just take advantage of the opportunities that I get and try to knock them down.
Definitely, you have a knack for hitting those opportune shots just right when you need to. Smart player, smart shots. So yeah, I agree.
Now, I mentioned it earlier, but the Flamethrowers have the highest odds to win the league according to the media. But there's been some pushback, even from some media members, but a lot from the league. Now, what do you have to say to them who think that y'all aren't enough to get it over the line? You missed out on it last year after winning it the year before. What's your mindset going into the season?
To me, it makes sense that we're the favorites. We won 2 of the first 3, and we went back the 3rd year. Obviously, we fell short in the championship game. There were a lot of factors that played into that. Garrett, member of the SPBL Hall of Fame, by the way. Kind of cool that y'all did that. But, there were a lot of factors that played into that, but we still went. We were still there. We met up with Garrett. And I don't think it's insane for us to be the favorites. You could argue like, oh, they got worse at this. Oh, they got worse at that. Whatever, man. Whatever. We lost Brazzy, which was a huge, huge loss, but it's still Chris and I. We've been playing together for 8 years, something crazy like that. Ever since freshman year of high school, we've got the chemistry. Nate's an incredible player. I don't think it's insane for us to be the favorites. I really don't.
Yeah, that is a tough loss, losing Brazzy, but we got the pleasure of gaining Brazzy here on the team, so we are very happy about that.
Thank you, sir. So yeah, last question on my end. It's more of a general one. So yeah, the league has implemented the Elam ending this season. So my question is, have you ever even played a game that used the Elam ending, and what are your thoughts on it overall?
So I've never personally played one. Never really had a chance. It's kind of like a brand new thing, so it's kind of hard to play with one if you've never seen it before. But I have seen watched some clips. Chris has sent me some videos, and I watched them. And it honestly, to me personally, the best part about any basketball game is the ending. Like that's where the game's on the line, game's tied. Buzzer beater three, bang, win the game. Like those moments in any level of sports, whether it's basketball or football or whatever, whether it's NFL or Pee Wee, it doesn't matter. A game-winning point is awesome in every capacity. So with the Elam ending, we're always going to get that. It's always going to be, I don't remember the exact rules, but that's for a later conversation. But you said, so whatever the target score is, you got to hit that, and you know what's coming. Like you got to guard. Like if you're down by if it's 3 points away, you got to guard the three. And if somebody hits that, it's going to be really cool. And every game's going to be like that. So I'm super excited. I've again never played one before, but I think the first one is going to be like, what the heck are we doing? And then the next one's going to be like, this is awesome.
Yeah, as a member of the media, I'm definitely looking forward to kind of the calls for all the game-winning shots. Yep.
And also, one final thing to add is the worst part about any basketball game is the ending. Whenever everybody's just fouling, like nobody wants that. It slows the game down. It ruins the quality of it. Like nobody wants to see me take 14 free throws at the end of a game. Like nobody wants to watch Chris sit there and dribble the ball and then make it. Nobody wants to watch that. So I do think it's a good thing for the league. There's going to be some growing pains, but I think it's a good thing.
It's a very good point. Yep.
Yeah, Chris, I think that's going to be all the questions we have for you. Before we go, though, do you have any final comments? Anything you want to say to the rest of the league? Anything you want to shout out about yourself or your teammates?
Let's all have a great time. This is year 4. Let's see what happens.
Let's run it. All right. Thank you so much for joining us, Chris. It was a pleasure having you.
All right, Brezzy.
Hey.
So, I'm doing great. How are you doing?
I'm good. But it's great to be here with everybody, isn't it, man? It's awesome.
It's amazing.
Yep.
All right. So we got a couple player comparisons here for you.
Great.
So this is the first one. You got to look at the stats. You got to let me know which one would you want on your team?
Oh boy. So the 4%, 3%. Is that right? 4%.
That's right. It's 4%.
But other than that, they are so damn similar. Oh my goodness. Okay.
They must not shoot a lot of them because they're 44% from the field. So.
Okay. I mean, I feel 4%, 30%. That's the main differentiating factor. You got to go with the second player. I guess.
Second player.
Yeah. And so.
All right. So, for our first player comparison.
Yeah.
The first player was Garrett Brooks in 2024. The second player was Jacob Brooks in 2024.
Wow. That's quite insane. 4%. I don't believe that, but stats just you can't argue stats.
You gotta take that up with Chris.
Yeah. Wow.
I've just been given some stats.
Does your answer change after knowing the players?
Same as stats, no.
All right.
All right. We got comparison number 2 here.
Okay. Player 2, 2 points less per game, a little less rebounding, a few less assists. But, they're better field goal percentage and 3-point percentage, less turnovers. So I'm going player 2.
Player 2?
Yeah.
All right.
Definitely.
For comparison number 2, player 1 was Logan.
Oh, I love Logan. So.
Player 2 is Josh Briers.
Okay. Josh is a baller, so.
Both good players.
Yeah, both really good players.
Those are career stats, by the way.
Okay.
Those are career. The first one was 2024. The other 3 comparisons are all career stats.
Sure. Yeah, I think I love Logan, but I still stick. Yeah, with Josh. Yeah.
Comparison 3.
Okay. How many comparisons do we have?
There's 4.
Okay.
There's 4.
Okay,
So
I was
we're
10.
halfway.
Okay.
No. We're halfway.
Okay.
We're halfway.
Similar points. Player 1, a few more rebounds. But the shooting numbers for player 2. I'm going player 2 probably. A little less rebounding, but the numbers.
The numbers.
Yeah.
That's fair. Player 1 was Michael Roberts.
Oh, okay.
Player 2 was Nate Briers.
Oh. Like I said, love Mike. We had a good time last year, but yeah, I'm sticking with, you said Nate Briers? Yes.
Nate Briers?
Stick with Nate Briers.
All right. Comparison number 4.
Okay, last one. Here we go. Oh boy, 5.1. That kind of looks like me, maybe. Player 2 has to be me. I think it is. So give me player 2.
Give you player 2?
I'm a bozo if that's not me, but
all right. Player 1 was Brazzy.
Oh my!
Player 2 was Zach. His career. Your stats were higher last year. It's career stats.
Yeah.
Career stats.
Okay. Well, Zach's my guy. I'm going with Zach.
All right.
Oh boy.
All right.
Well,
thanks for answering the questions, Brazzy.
Thank you very much, sir.
Welcome back to SPBL Media Day 2. We are here with Bo Hightower for his interview, a highly anticipated newcomer among the league. We have had a lot of high praise amongst the media for Bo, and we look forward to a highly anticipated season for sure. Getting right off to the start with it, we had some media members see you play recently. Your stock was already high, and all I can say is your stock is going up since then. People think that, on the awards voting, you were like plus 1,000 for MVP. You were the favorite for Defensive Player of the Year. Maybe you should have been the favorite for both after seeing you play. What do you think about where your game is at right now?
Well, I don't think having me as the favorite for MVP is fair because I am not in basketball shape right now. Yesterday I had a good showing in a couple little practice rounds, but got out of breath really easily. So we're gonna have to up our conditioning. If we can get our conditioning to a level where I feel like I'm comfortable playing a whole game, then maybe I'll live up to the hype in the preseason. But as of right now, I think it's a little overblown due to my conditioning problems.
Is there anything that you're going to do to try to improve your conditioning?
Yes, I think Tuesday nights I'm gonna run scrims with another friend group of mine up at the gym. So hopefully throughout the course of the season, maybe in the beginning I'll be a little out of shape, but hopefully by the middle of the season I'll be good to go, be able to run the whole game.
And what did you think about your first time in that gym? And now we mentioned that there's no AC in that gym right now. It's a bit hot, but there are some fans. How are you going to combat that until the AC does get fixed?
Yeah, that was a little tough. Felt like my skin was on fire the entire time I was out there. So, but I think we're gonna bring some towels out there to wipe the sweat off, and maybe bring like a frog tog type situation to kind of cool ourselves down. But I think ultimately we're all gonna be fighting the same battle, so we're gonna have to just push through.
Yeah. So I know some people already in the league, but to many you're a newcomer, myself included. So I know I got a. Sorry, was Titan the one who background checked?
Yes.
Okay, so some people do know a bit more about you, but
like my parents' majors in college.
Right. So tell me more.
Well, what else can you tell us about, as someone who is unfamiliar with you, what can you tell us about yourself that we might not already know?
I think Titan kind of overblew it in the beginning. He was talking about how good of an athlete I was. I was an above average athlete in high school, but I think the college weight really came into play, and I'm back down to more average area. Not a good ball handler at all. Decent shooter, but I think the dynamic of me, Sadie, David, and Joe, I really think that's going to work very well for us during the season.
So not Dave.
No, I know. I mentioned David. No. He's going to be an integral part of what we do this season.
So how should we anticipate that duo between you and Sam, and then the broader team in general, looking on the floor this season?
Right. I think it's gonna work pretty well. We haven't, and this might be an issue because a lot of these teams have former chemistry and have practiced this season. We haven't gotten together yet, but I think between me and Sam's knowledge and then David and Joe's camaraderie, I think it's going to be a lot of ball screen action, a lot of pick and pops, pick and rolls, a lot of perimeter play with rollers to the basket. I think it's going to go pretty well for us.
Now, you and Sam have had some history of playing together in the past.
Yes.
So what can you take away from that experience and apply it to this year? And I guess which of you is going to be more of a leader on the court for your team?
Well, to answer your second question, I think it's definitely going to be Sam. I'm not really much of a vocal person, but when it comes to competition and stuff like that, Sam really likes to let his voice be heard. But playing with him in high school, it definitely helps me, and we've also played in runs past high school before, so I do know what he likes when it comes to certain situations within the game, and so I think me and him are going to be able to play really well off of each other.
So I wanted to ask you, as the front runner for the Defensive Player of the Year award, without actually stepping on the court, how do you feel about those expectations that were set? And just tell me a little bit more about you as like a defender. Are you do you guard the 1 through 5? Are you quick?
Well, I think they might have been set a little high on the Defensive Player of the Year award because defense requires a lot of effort, and I'm not saying that I'm not willing to provide that effort because I 100% am. I'm more looking towards my conditioning, like I mentioned earlier, to where it will be tough for me to be able to sit down and defend the whole game. But if I'm good, like conditioned wise, like if I have energy, if I'm good to go, then I feel as if I'm definitely one of the better defenders in the league for sure.
Are you perimeter defender, interior defender?
Both. I feel my lateral quickness and my overall size and weight will provide me the ability to guard on the perimeter and also guard in the paint.
Okay. That does help for a Defensive Player of the Year case,
Yeah.
I will say. And touching on the awards again, so you mentioned that the MVP expectations might be a little high, but there was also an anonymous league source that said that you have zero chance at winning MVP. You're not even a top 4 player. You won't be a top 4 player in the league, and kind of like really downplaying you. What do you have to say to them? What is your response there?
It's reasonable given that they probably haven't seen me play, and I didn't play a lot in high school on the basketball team, but I think coming into this league, I wouldn't say I deserve to be in the top 4, but I wouldn't say that there's zero chance I have a MVP case or anything like that. I feel as if my game, especially yesterday in our runs, where my game showed itself and showed the fact that on a good day I can be a MVP player.
Definitely. I couldn't agree more. I obviously, like I said, there were some members saying that the top 4 is set and you're outside of that. But I say we have to let it play out on the court. I haven't seen you play in the league yet this year, but as I mentioned, the runs we got to see from you were very, very positive on your overall perception among the media. Is there anyone within the league that you are looking forward to matching up against the most this season?
Yeah, I think my buddy Jack Flynn, I'm really good friends with him. Played with him in high school, know his game very well. I think he might provide some issues for the whole league overall, just as a shooter and a ball handler. But I think he might have the same problem I have, where it's conditioning. Whether or not he can get up and down the court and be able to stay consistent throughout the whole game. Also, Wilson Parker, I know he's a newcomer as well with me. I had the chance to play against him a little bit in high school, and I think his size and overall presence on the court is going to provide maybe some issues, especially with our team. We don't, I think I'm the tallest on our team, so with Wilson being 6'5", 6'6", I think that might provide some problems for us on defense. But yeah,
for sure. There's a lot of highly anticipated newcomers. You mentioned both Wilson and Jack, and then yourself as well. So we were really looking forward to see how the 3 of you fit into your new teams and fit into the league, and the matchups between you will be very fun to watch. Moving beyond the play on the court for a second, looking at your team branding, did you have much of a say in that? I heard Sam was kind of the vocal leader of the team branding. Did you have a say in that, and what do you think about it?
Yeah, no, I was just I threw out a couple options, but in the end, I really didn't care what our team name was. To me, that wasn't the main thing. I was just kind of, whatever they wanted it to be, I was gonna let them decide, and it could have been any name. It doesn't matter. We're still gonna go out and try and win this league.
It could have been the Crimson Tide, for example.
Great
No, that wouldn't have flew well with me. I probably wouldn't have probably would have shot that one down. If I'm being
Fair.
completely honest with you. So
What about number 8? Any reasoning behind number 8?
yeah, so throughout my little league and high school career, I stuck to pretty much 3 numbers throughout the 3 sports I played. It was either number 8, number 34, or number 14, and I just felt number 8 kind of fit better within the basketball sphere, so I just kind of stuck with that one.
Fair enough. And so among the league, you were voted as the most country player in the league. It was kind of a 2-horse race between you and Rob. You got voted as the most country. What do you think that reputation means for you in the league? Does that play into your performance on the court in any manner? Does that have anything to do with your basketball performance?
I mean, I maybe a little bit because I'm kind of gritty on the court, very competitive. I'm kind of surprised by that, honestly. You're just now telling me that information. That's new information to me. But yeah, I mean, it might play a little bit into it. I'm a hard worker. Grit and grind on the basketball court. I'm not going to let anything go by easy. So.
And as you say that, would you attribute your defense more to your, I guess, athleticism and size, or would it be more due to your hard work on the court?
I think it a little bit with my athleticism because I do think I'm a decent athlete. It's more so my competitive nature. Losing, I can't stand losing. It's honestly probably a negative quality, to be honest, because no matter what I'm playing, I despise losing. I can't lose in anything. I'm a terrible loser. So
Tough to be an Auburn fan.
yeah, yeah, no, you don't want to be around me on a Saturday in the fall. But no, it's mainly to do with my competitive nature and the fact that I really cannot stand losing at all.
That's fair and that's understandable. I hope you do know that Joe was part of one of the losingest duos in history. Him and Nate Bryers were the losingest duo. They had gotten 3 total wins in their first 2 seasons. They got 4 last year, so it was a step up. So hopefully that trend can continue and it doesn't revert back to the classic Joe 1 to 2 wins per season.
Yeah, well, I heard he didn't he win Most Improved Player last year?
He did win Most Improved Player last year, and they won 4 games.
Well, I think between him taking a step up in his play last year and the combination of me and David on the inside and Sam kind of running point, I think we have a really solid team this year, and I think we have a very good chance. Obviously, the media agrees that we have a very, very good chance of winning the league this year. So
definitely, we are very excited for the Gunslingers. We think that you are obviously one of the top teams in the league, should be a championship contender, and we're definitely looking forward to seeing you out on the floor this season. We're wishing you luck in your first season in the SPBL. Hopefully, you can work your way to a championship in year 1. We're looking forward to watching all of your Gunslingers on the court. We'll be following you throughout the year. Good luck this year.
I appreciate it. Thank you all very much.
No, thank you.
Thank you.
All right, Nate. You are now one of just 4 active players to average a career double-double. Which 7 players averaged a double-double in 2022?
20. So that was the first season. I would say Michael Roberts. Am I one of the 7? Or are you just saying 7 other than me?
No, you're included.
All right, so me, Michael, I would say Chris Keena. Ooh, golly, dude. Garrett Brooks, Hunter Freeman. Luke. Oh, gosh, that was tough. Let's see. The last person is probably I don't want to say Josh. I just know that's wrong. I can't remember this one of these teams. I'm just gonna go with Chris Heights.
Chris Heights. 6 for 7 is pretty damn
Gosh.
good. Dave was the last one.
Oh my gosh, we're talking a guy that's declined since then.
Wow, dude, 6 for 7 is kind of crazy though from 2022.
I know.
Wow. Well, that's a pretty good answer. I'd give you credit for that. I got another question for you though. All right. So, Chris gave me some some stats of players. We got 2 players side by side. You gotta pick one. Tell me which one you would want on your team.
Let's see. I mean, I probably want the bottom one.
The bottom one?
Yeah.
All right, let's see. I got the answer key for you here. That's a pretty good choice. The top guy is Michael Roberts. The bottom guy is Nate Briers.
Yeah, I'll take that.
That's a good choice.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks for answering the question, Nate.
Thank you.
Welcome back to SPBL Media Day 2. We have Zach here with us for his interview. He's always a good interview for the media crew. Love him coming in here for his interviews. Zach, obviously the big question this offseason is how will the replacement of Garrett with Wilson affect the team? Some have made an analogy that Garrett is kind of like your old, reliable Chevy truck, someone that is always going to put up those numbers, whereas Wilson's kind of like this flashy new Corvette, that you have. And now a lot of people do also think that Corvettes aren't like the coolest cars, like they kind of look kind of ugly. But just in terms of like that analogy, I guess how do you think about these two players and the change?
Oh, that's a low dig right there. I don't know. I see that V6 Mustang out there. I don't know whose it is, but that's the bottom of the barrel right there. But
I think Will came here in the V6 Mustang.
Yeah, that's my buddy Liam's.
Yeah.
That's my buddy. I saw it out there. But I think Wilson be a real good addition to the team. He's, in my opinion, almost a 2.0 of Garrett. I know Garrett's been giving me some digs. You go to part of them podcast. He's been giving me, and he's not wrong, but it's still some digs to me. But I think Wilson a 2.0. He can do everything Garrett can do and more.
Have you seen him play?
Yeah. We played a pickup game, the Rec, against the Blues.
How'd that go?
We played half court. So Nate, you know what Nate is. He can only run half court game. Any more than a half court game, he's gonna only be on a little bit. So
Nate mentioned several times that he blocked Wilson early on in the game, and then he said that Wilson was scared to go down in the paint again.
Okay, well, as you know, Nate's got only so much stamina. So we're only playing a half court game. He doesn't got to move but 3 feet at a time. He just sits there and watches the goal. So if we play a full court game, I don't think Nate can handle it. He's going to be up and down the court. He's going to be dead after about 1 quarter, if even that.
So last year, you talked about how Garrett was taking digs at you on the podcast. Last year, your points per game dropped from 6.4 to 2.8. Your shot attempts were also cut in half. But your team won the championship. So is there correlation there?
I just need to shoot, to be honest.
But I should also mention that your reputation as a strong perimeter defender has fallen off a bit in the past couple of years. You were 3rd in Defensive Player of the Year voting in 2022. Last year, you only received 1 second place and 1 third place vote for Defensive Player of the Year. Are the days of Clamp's Defensive Player of the Year, Zach, behind us?
I don't think so. The big part about this year was I was able to have Luke as a secondary defender, so he would play against the worst of whoever team we were playing against, and he'd help me the entire way. So it wasn't just me. So that was the main thing.
That's fair. And so you mentioned that maybe you shouldn't shoot as much. Last year, you only took 1 3-point attempt. Will you top that this season? Will there be 2 3-point attempts this year?
I don't think so. I think the threes are no more. That was the whole point. I mean, my team we have Josh who's shooting threes. I played with Josh 3 years ago, I think now, in the our first championship run that we lost to Chris's team. But Josh has come a long way. He can shoot threes, and I don't need to, thank God.
Now, you were a league source mentioned that the name bomb threat, right? The name bomb threat shouldn't be applied to basketball unless you're saying that you're bombing your team's chances of winning. But you did win a championship last year. So what do you have to say to that member of the league?
I think y'all changing y'all's idea all the time because as y'all saw, my playoff I'm playing much better in. It's not like the regular season where I don't do anything but just I'm the glue of the team at that point. In the playoff, I'm actually having to help.
That's fair. And playoff Z, returned this season, the legend of playoff Z, 2 for 2 in the championship game. What is it about playoff time that really gets you going and makes you turn up your performance?
Well, when the team needs me, I need to do something. I mean, we were down 12, so there was no other point. If I missed a shot or I made a shot, it didn't matter. So I went and took them. And all that mattered.
And we've received reports that you've been running this offseason to try to get in better shape. Is that true?
I've been doing that actually since last year. As my thought is, I'm not much of a shooter. I'll play defense. I can make myself run up and down the court. So I thought I might as well be able to be in shape so that I can help the team in one way or the other.
That's very fair. And now you were also voted as the league's most persecuted member, and this has been happening for a few years now. We obviously know the history with Dave. We all know who is the main perpetrator of the persecution. Does this affect you mentally on the court?
Yeah, when I play against Dave, I just got to make sure that whoever he's on, what team he's on, he's gonna lose. There's no doubt behind it.
Is it personal between you and Dave?
It's a personal thing now.
Yeah, we obviously we talked to Dave earlier. We have a history with Dave. We know the history between you and Dave. Is there a matchup that you look forward to any more than Dave each season?
I can't say there is. I mean, it's enjoyable to see Dave lose. That's it.
That's a good answer. Well, thank you for joining us. It was a great interview as always. Looking to see the Ball Hogs return to glory this season, keeping 3 of the 4 core members. You are now an official SPBL champion, and you are the defending champions, going back to defend that title in 2025. We wish you the best of luck and look forward to seeing you out there on the court.
All right.
Welcome back to SPBL Media Day 2. We have our final interview of the day, and it is with Nate Smith. A very highly anticipated interview. Nate, teaming up with Chris Keena this year on the Flamethrowers. The Scrappers are no more. In comes Nate, a very highly anticipated duo that's been in the build-up for a while now. What can you tell us about what you're expecting on the floor this season between the two of you?
I'm just looking forward to reviving our old chemistry. It started way back when in church league basketball before Chris dislocated his knee after one game, and I'm really looking forward to the chance to bring that back.
Yeah.
Yeah, as one of the biggest pushers for the Chris Nate team up, I for one am thrilled. And how do you think your role will fit this year compared to your last teams? Because I feel like you were number 1 option. Now you're kind of like 1A, 1B. Like, how do you feel it's going to flow with your new team?
I think it'll be. I for one am very excited to take a step back, perhaps to give Chris a lot of at least the driving and scoring volume, all the ball handling if possible, and I think that we'll hopefully be able to, in addition to with really good additions of Heights and Josh, create good spacing and get high quality shots between us.
Now, you're talking about taking a step back. There were some anonymous league sources who said that you're a bit of a Chris merchant, saying that you couldn't get it done on your own with the Gravediggers, so now you have to go and team up with Chris, who's won 2 titles already, and rely on him to carry you to a championship. What do you have to say to those people?
I would say that I think my insurrection to the league performance really demonstrated what I could do. I mean, I had a phenomenal cast around me, but we really played well that whole year, dominating likes of, if I remember correctly, the Mystics and Ball Hogs, and ended up choking a title game. But we played a really phenomenal season. I had almost 50 points that year, and I think that last year was tough with the injury to Sam, especially. That really hurt because he was our primary ball handler, and we didn't perform as well as we could have. But I don't, for one, feel bad at all for my own pride by getting to play with a good friend of mine and a really good player.
That's true. And so I must say that we have to address, in some of the podcasts, we've mentioned that there's been some drama reported coming out of the Flamethrowers camp. And it seems that some of the drama might be centered around you. What do you have to say about things that have been coming out of the Flamethrowers camp? Things are getting leaked, it seems. What's going on within the Flamethrowers? Set the record straight.
I fear that my player comp might be Allen Iverson pretty soon because I have not yet made a practice. But we're
talking about practice.
Yes, but we're gonna set the record straight. I have no worries about how we'll come together for the season.
When you say that you haven't made a practice yet, and you were also voted as the league's most likely player to have a conflict with an SPBL event, And so, why do you think that is? Why are you so conflicted? Do you have a lot going on?
Can I plead the fifth? Is that a real award?
It was you were voted.
Anonymous poll,
You were voted. It was not an anonymous poll.
Anonymous
You were
poll.
voted as the league's most likely player to have a conflict with an SPBL event.
Well, in our college friend group, there are lots of terms. One of them being nading, and I'll admit that usually has to do with 1 foot in the water, 1 foot out, and let's just say I'll try to stop nading going forward.
So to bring it back to basketball a bit, so the new Elam ending, right? You're seen as a clutch shooter on the league and a big shooter. Do you think the Elam ending will really maybe help your game specifically because you're a big shot hitter?
I think I'm kind of torn because I think within the SPBL, my ability to shoot pretty good from the free throw line has been good at the end of the games, especially if we have a lead, because then fouling isn't as effective, and that's not necessarily a strength of the SPBL free throw shooting. But also, I do think that when the time comes, whether myself or Chris, Heights, or our team in general, that the clutch factor is definitely something we have. So
Now,
it's good either way.
Yeah.
Now you're known as a strong 3-point shooter in the league, but this past season you were third behind both Sam and Neil. We also have the additions of Jack and Bo, who are highly anticipated shooters. Is your status in the league as a top shooter falling? Do you think you can make it back, or do you think you're going to fall to like 5th, 6th in the league?
I think it's certainly possible I fall to 5th, 6th in the league with the likes of Jack coming in the league and other great players, but I feel pretty confident that my shooting percentage might increase with the likes of Chris drawing some attention and taking better shots this season.
Actually, anonymous league source told me that he sees you as a ball rack shooter, where you're hitting your shots, but only if you're sitting there, you're just getting it fed to you. You're not gonna create your own shot. You're not gonna move off the dribble, and you're not gonna hit it when you're contested. What do you have to say to that?
Contested, no, but I definitely would feel more comfortable taking an open shot versus having to create one myself.
Logically, yeah. Would
Do
agree.
you feel more comfortable taking an open shot or a contested shot?
I would say maybe a contested shot.
Maybe a little hand in the face kind of helps you. Yeah, I wonder we'll have to. Yeah, we have a lot of good stat keepers. I wonder if we can get any stats on your shooting splits, open versus contested, and see where the percentages actually
this
fall.
is a challenge. Oh, come on.
He enjoys a challenge for sure. Going back to I guess like team branding. So flamethrowers this year. Did you have any say in the flamethrowers? And also, I have to note that we noticed you changed your number from 23 to 6. Anything behind that?
Yeah, as far as the flamethrowers branding, I try to just be supportive of whatever my team was feeling. I didn't have any great unique ideas, but I did think the Flaming Men would have been interesting. Sure.
The Flaming Men was an option for a while.
There was a hot media trend for a couple days there.
It was on the table. And then the other question being what?
The number changed from 23 to 6.
Oh, yeah. I just joked with Chris that it'll be like, LeBron going to the Heat, making the super team and hopefully going to play better.
Are you LeBron? Chris is Dwayne Wade. You're LeBron, and Heights is Chris Bosh.
We'll go with that. Yeah.
Who is Josh Keena?
Ray out.
Oh, all right. And so I should say we talked with Josh Keena. Josh Keena said that he's going to be averaging a triple-double this season. We also have Chris, who obviously is a high-volume scorer, and Chris Heights is also going to be. He gets his shots as well. Is this going to limit the amount of production that you can have this season if Josh is going to be this productive of a player?
I hope it limits my production. If he's as productive as we anticipate, I just hope to play efficiently, help out on defense, and as a perimeter player, and down low the boards, and let Josh have his triple-double games. I'll happily watch him put up triple-doubles.
So right before you go, I also want to touch on the awards voting. Are there any specific awards that you are looking forward to potentially competing for this year? Are there any awards in mind that you think you have a shot at winning now on the flamethrowers?
One question I have is: do awards only base off of last season or all time?
This past, like the current season.
Okay. Well, I would say that if I play well, maybe most improved. Considering I didn't make the playoffs last year and shot pretty prolifically, horrifically, terrible. But my own personal goal for myself is to. I feel like I get a bad rep for not being a great defender, and I think that's mainly been in the SPBL. And I know that if I'm not the primary ball handler, I want to hold myself honest and not let people score that well on me. So I don't know if is there a decent defensive player there?
There's a defensive player of the
not
year.
improved though.
Not most improved defensive player of the year, but most improved player.
Okay,
And sportsmanship.
I'll shoot for defensive player and I guess try to be a good sport along the way.
So talking about your defense, on the team, who do you anticipate being the primary interior defender?
I think it'll largely depend on what teams we're playing. For instance, if we're playing Wilson Parker's team, apparently he's like 7'5". So
he gets taller and taller every interview. It's like 6'3", 6'5", 7'5". I mean, who knows?
So I think we'll have to figure out. Like I might give it a shot, but first year Hunter gave me difficulty in the post. But I think that it'll be team by team. But if it's a height factor, then probably myself with Chris on the perimeter.
That makes sense. And we definitely look forward to seeing you out there on the court this season. We hope the Flamethrowers are successful. The Flamethrowers are the favorite to win the championship among the media. The media voted the Flamethrowers as the favorite to win the championship. What is it like going from the Gravediggers, who were arguably the worst SPBL team of all time, to the favorite to win the championship? Is there some added pressure on you now?
Maybe a little bit in that I don't want to let Chris down in his comeback year from a heartbreaking defeat last year, but no, not really. I'm just looking forward to getting to play with the rebranded Scrappers and see what we can do.
Definitely. We look forward to seeing the Flamethrowers out there on the court this season. Hope for a return to glory for Chris and Chris with the likes of Nate and Josh. Look forward to joining you throughout the season. This wraps up SPBL Media Day 2. Look forward to joining you throughout the season, calling games, and we hope to have a very, very interesting season ahead. Flamethrowers, hopefully we can get you a championship this year in the SPBL. Good luck out there.
Thank you.
I was like, that is the insult to insult.
Who said this? What? Yeah.
Grant. He said I play like
Grant's talking shit.
I'm 6'4", but I play like I'm 5'4". Like we're talking that is ridiculous.
Yeah, those are fighting words. Would he say anything else?
No, you heard that I was.
I don't know, but yeah, he
like,
did. He said that we have the worst interior defense in the league, like me.
Wow.
And it's like, dude, David Keena is a big man on another team. Like this guy sucks. Like I mean, let's get that out of the way. He's a nice guy and everything, but he's not good at the game of basketball. So like, I don't know how in the world that he looks at my team and me and Alan and says, no, those guys are garbage. And looks at David, and then there's another team. Let's be real, with Hunter Freeman and Robert, who got better MVP odds than me. Robert Downing. Like we're talking, this guy might average 1 point a game.
Yeah, that's pretty disrespectful, honestly.
Yeah, they were asking me about that in the
interview.
Yeah, in the interview, they were like, yeah, and then Titan. I mean, somehow a guy who's not even in the league has better odds to win MVP than I do.
Wow.
Yes. I'm like, he's never even played in a league game.
Oh wow! Yeah, all right. I didn't know they had it out for you like that.
That's what I'm telling you. Like I'm like the villain of the media, and I don't know what I did to these
Titan
guys.
having higher odds than you is that's quite the take.
But even worse is, I can understand that this guy, is on an ego trip or something. But putting Robert in front of me, that is crazy. Like this guy's barely in the league.